Well, did you hear that? It says this meeting is being recorded.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Well, hey, I have on the line with me today Tony Youngs, who's our featured speaker at the IaREIA and Iowa Landlord Association Annual Expo. It's called the IaREI Expo 2020. And many of you know that in fact, if you're receiving this email, you've probably been emailed a few times already that it's at the Ramada Tropics, which is at 5000 Merle Hay Road, right next to the interstate. Very easy to find. You just go off the interstate and you'll see the Ramada Tropics there. We're there for 3 days, and Tony will be coming in to see us on Friday the 10th. And you're still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, I just want to make sure that we're all in agreement. You're coming in Friday the 10th. I think you're on, according to this little flyer here and our schedule, it says that you're on at 4:30 on Friday evening, and we're going to open that up to the public. You're not going to have to pay to come and see that. The following day, though, should you decide to come for the full day, there is a fee associated with that. And those who are fortunate enough to see this today are going to be able to get this at an excellent price. But even if you miss today's special, you'll still be able to get in at a very good fee. We're going to furnish lunch. And at noon now, Tony, we'll have to stop you for a little bit while we have Cindy Axney come on. She's our representative to Washington, D.C. for District 3. But
okay.
Other than that, and one private lender, you'll have the full day. And so why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and what exactly is the hidden market?
Okay, well, I'm Tony Youngs, born and raised in Marietta, Georgia, which is just north of Atlanta. And I was an aircraft mechanic working for Lockheed. And then I went to a seminar and then joined my local REIA in Georgia. And I made a year's wages on my very first real estate deal compared to working at Lockheed. So the real estate deal only took 88 days.
A year's wages in your first deal, and it took 88 days. Oh my gosh.
And so anyway, I started in the foreclosure industry. I did foreclosures for 15 years, and then I discovered the hidden market. The hidden market, you see, here's how it came about. I would go out to look at the foreclosures in the area. And then when I was out in the neighborhood, I would find something else in that neighborhood with no for sale sign. And I would contact the owner and see if they were interested in selling it. And so I was finding even better deals in the hidden market because these homes have no for sale signs. They're just a little bit distressed in a neighborhood, and I contact the owners. So every weekend, Andrew, every single weekend, I go out and look at the foreclosures, and I find 20 to 30 hidden market properties. And I contact those owners, and I end up buying deals because you know as well as I do, it's very competitive today.
Tell me about that.
The reason it's so competitive is because real estate is doing great. But
10 years ago it had leprosy, and today it's gangbusters.
Yes. So if I go to a foreclosure auction, I have to outbid all the other local investors to get the deal. And then it's not a good deal anymore. Because
I remember the last foreclosure deal I did about 5 years ago on one of these HUD properties. and I
Yeah.
was still a realtor at the time. There were
Yeah.
9 offers on this thing. I can't, I got to take one finger down. 9
Right.
offers.
I know it. And see,
Yeah.
it's the same way. Any house that's
Mhm.
on the MLS usually gets multiple offers. So if we buy from the MLS, we end up having to pay more than we were willing to pay just to get the deal. If we go to an auction, we end up paying more than we were willing to pay because of so much competition. So, and if we subscribe to a list on the internet of, say, absentee owners or probates or something of that nature, other people are subscribing to the same list, so everybody is sending letters to those people. But the
So, mhm.
houses I find in the hidden market, I'm the only one talking to those people. As a matter of fact, Andrew, the owner does not even know his house is for sale that day.
Well, though, so what kind of properties do you find in this hidden market anyhow?
Well,
Maybe.
I find probate situations where,
Mhm.
say, somebody has passed away and their home may be sitting vacant, and the heirs don't have the money to fix it up, or they haven't got their act together yet to sell the house. So I contact them before
Mhm.
they get their act together, and I sort of make an offer. That's one way.
Mhm.
another another way is, I may knock on somebody's door out of the blue and just say, hey, I'm looking to buy a home in the area, would you be interested in selling yours? And they may say, I just got transferred and I was thinking, how am I going to sell my house? And here you are. Here's another example. I may knock on a door and say, hey, I'm looking to buy a home in the area. And they may say, it's funny because I'm actually going through a divorce and my wife wants us to sell the house, but neither one of us want to put money into it. So this is great that you came along. So those are types of things. I find people in bankruptcy, I find probate situations, I find people getting transferred. I find people that have gotten laid off. I find people that just have lost their jobs,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that's called life happens. And so there's always going to be situations. Do you know these situations happen in every neighborhood in America? People
Mhm.
lose jobs, people get old and they have to move into an old folks home. Just like my father, I just put him in an old folks home 10 days ago and his home is sitting vacant and it needs repairs. So I'm sure that, and see, I don't have the house up for sale, but that's an example. People are getting
Yes.
old. People are moving into old folks' homes. People are dying. People are losing jobs. People are getting divorced. And that's why there's properties that you and I can buy that nobody else knows about.
Well, so how do you find the homeowners that are, you said something about vacant houses. How do you
Yes.
find the homeowners that own these vacant houses? You going to talk
Well,
about that on Friday and Saturday, or both?
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Because every time I go out looking for hidden market properties, I always find some vacant ones too. And there's no for
Mhm.
sale sign in the yard. It's not on the internet. It's not on the MLS. So I contact the owners and see if they would be interested in selling.
I had 2 of those houses like that on just my block alone, where there's 41 houses, and one of them was vacant for 6 years.
Yes.
I am so excited. I'll tell you what, I am happy that you finally consented. We've talked about you coming to Des Moines, Iowa, and to be of benefit to the people here in Iowa and Nebraska and Missouri, Minnesota. They can come down, spend a few hours with us, maybe a day and a half or so, and come away with some really valuable information, because my contacts with you was really um, was started by contacting and having your brother come speak. You still
Yes.
getting along with Pete okay?
Yeah. Yeah. To the best of my ability. Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
well, he
course.
is a brother. That's right.
Yeah.
But I
That's
tell
right.
you what, we were so pleased because he specializes more in the rehabbing, and but then I wanted to have you come. And I think one of the things that are particularly beginners is they want to know how to get started. When you started telling me that at some point in time, for those who are paying attention and showing real interest in what you have to offer, you actually start them out by learning how to write offers. Is that going to be
Yes.
covered on Friday and Saturday, or are we going to hold off on that till the spring?
No, we're going to do that right away. I'm going to teach them, you know, the 5 basic steps: how to find them, how to process them, how to analyze them for profitability, and how to write the offer. Because, Andrew, my favorite motto is, if you're not making offers, you're not making money. And people have a fear of making offers. So I'm going to take away those fears. This Friday and Saturday, this, coming up, I'm gonna take away those fears so they'll give it a try.
So that sounds absolutely fantastic. When I was starting out for 78, 79, I started buying some properties. I hardly knew what I was doing other than know as a realtor, and I knew that real estate was hot. It was appreciating in double digits way back in 1978, 79. And the thing is, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a coach. I just had this strong desire, but I didn't have financing either. So are you going to talk about maybe some creative financing techniques that'll help people who, they're just starting out and they don't have their nest egg set aside for investing?
Absolutely, Andrew, because that's how I got started. I had desire, but I had no money. I didn't know how. So, through the seminars and the investors associations, I was able to find out how you can buy houses with no money or no credit involved. And I'm going to be teaching those techniques. So everybody in the audience will be able to do the hidden market, whether you have money, friends, anything, you can do it. And that's what I'm going to show them, because that's how I got started. I didn't have a dime, and I made a year's wages on my first deal without any money. You,
Fantastic.
you
All
see
right.
what
Well,
you got
that's
to do,
there are
Andrew.
some of our people that are come there are seasoned veterans, but I'll tell you what, if you're a seasoned veteran, you constantly have to be sharpening your axe and learning
Yes,
new techniques for getting leads. The low-hanging fruit is probably not what you're really interested in today, because the low-hanging fruit's listed on the MLS and you're going to pay 5 to 10% more than you should pay for it. But what
that's
you're
right.
talking about is it's easier to, because you don't have the competition, but it's a little harder to find. So you need to learn techniques from Tony Young's that you're going to be talking about. So, folks, here's the deal. Saturday, 8 o'clock, Saturday, January 11th. You want to be in your seat, because by 8:30, Tony's going to be kicking us off for an action-packed day full of exciting information that's going to help you supercharge your business for 2020. And you're going to be with us about 6 hours or more of that day. I think you're speaking 4 or 5 times anyways. And any closing statement I'd say is basically, it's been 10 years I've been wanting to bring Tony here off and on. We haven't tried to, bothered you every single day or anything, but I've known about your hidden market strategies that you talk about, and I think it's ideal for this time when real estate really is kind of at the top of the pricing. If you overpay, we know one thing for sure: it's hard to make that up. So you make your money on the buy, and to do that, you have to find the property, negotiate for yourself in a win-win transaction for that seller. And Tony's, I'm just so excited to have you come, because I think you are the guy that can help us.
I know I am. And here is the best time of the year to do this, at the beginning of the year. Because, if you always, most people set new goals and resolutions at the beginning of the year. So you've got to determine this is going to be your year. And I'm the man to make that happen for you, because, you know, if you can go ahead and get out and get some of these hidden market properties right off the bat, which I'll teach them to do, then come springtime is the spring buying season, and they'll be able to, either rehab it. I'm going to teach them how to either rehab it or wholesale it. Or if you want to buy and hold, I'll show you my strategy for that too, because I'm a firm believer in rentals also.
Well, I'm absolutely convinced. I know this is true, that you and I could go on and talk about a lot of this. You could go on for hours and hours and give great technique right now. But the reality is, folks, we only have a short period of time until next week. We got a lot of work to do. We don't even have the meals figured out yet, Tony. So we got to get busy on that. But I'm just going to say, if you're not registered already, you're going to miss something really, really meaningful. It's well within the reach of anybody's budget. You just have to take your time. Do you have the time? Well, early in January, you should have time. And I calculated it's only 0.085% of your entire year that you'd spend with this. And then the rest of your year, all 98% or 99% left, is going to go a lot easier in your real estate investing business. So with that said, I sure appreciate you taking time today to help us learn a little bit more about what you're going to be talking about.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, well, folks, that's Tony Young's, and it's a hidden market. And check out our attendee registration form, get yourself registered, and we'll look forward to seeing you on January 9th at 4:30, if not before.
Okay, folks, Happy New Year. I'll see you next week.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.